The first episode, they had us thinking Robin was the nutcase. And I mean, her actions definitely helped with that narrative. But baby, this second episode is showing a whole new story. So let's get into it. So I just want to start off with the main sauce of this episode, which was Robin's pitch to the ladies about them collaborating together. And through it all, talk about the other scenes in the show that happened, like seeing Tiffany's family and hearing her story and Kiara's home burning down. Okay, so let's get into it. It's the night of the pitch and the ladies are all together waiting on Robin, who came late. Like, girl, Robin, this is your idea. The least you can do is show up on time. But in her confessional, she did say she was nervous and she almost didn't show up. So either that held her up or she probably was dealing with something else that hurt her late. But I mean, no biggie. Because when she came in, it was all good energy and all good vibes. I mean, Robin was coming in, hugging and greeting everyone, so it really was starting off good. I mean, to the point you would have thought they were all good friends and didn't have any issues. Until the problems got to rolling on the floor, okay? Now, before they all started talking about their problems with Robin, they gave her the opportunity to pitch what she wanted with them and why they were all there. Well, actually, first they were raising their glass and cheering for I don't know what. But Robin said it was for Crystal bringing them all together. So one of them yelled out, well, is it Crystal bringing us together or you, Robin? And I ain't gonna lie, I was thinking the same thing. But then Robin was like, no, I mean, she gathered y'all here for me. And I was like, oh, okay. All I know is Robin Nurse was definitely showing. Which I don't know why, because child, boo, they move and breathe just like you do, boo. But she has already said this is out of her element. So I can see that being the reason why her nerves were showing. But once that was all said and done, it was time for her to make the pitch. And y'all, why this girl had the nerves to say she hasn't thought about it fully to the end and she can use some suggestions. But the goal is to create a signature series of Black women. And basically, they can all take over the areas in Atlanta. Okay, fine, cool. But I was just so confused because don't bring me somewhere to pitch a business idea and you don't even have the idea together. That literally makes no sense. Now, granted, the idea was cool and all, but that's just not enough. And I'm also so confused on why Robin kept saying it was so near dear to her heart, yet she didn't have a clear and accurate plan to present to the ladies. That just completely lost me. But in all honesty, I think the women actually liked the idea, even with no plan, which is just crazy to me. But it was more of the personal issues they had with Robin that didn't sit well with them, at least for Kiana and Kiara. So Kiana said in order to collab and do business ventures with people, you have to have a level of trust and respect with who you are working with. And as far as her and Robin goes, they have unfinished business. And this was Kiana referring back to the 26 client list that she asked Robin to hold. But Robin wanted $500 for each person, which was $13,000, baby. That's too much money. But before they can finish their conversation and move forward, all I hear is Crystal in the background being a fake ass friend and an ass kisser yelling, Q, be honest, Q, be honest. Girl, shut up, please. That was not needed. And she was smirking like, girl, So Kiana said overall they have unfinished business because unlike Robin, she was building at the time. And I think Robin was ready to get defensive because it may have come off like, Robin, you wasn't doing anything, so you could have did this for me. But what Kiana really was trying to say was Robin had already established herself for being in the industry for so long, so she could have gave her some leeway, knowing that she was trying to build herself up like Robin has already did. But damn, before Robin or Kiana can even respond, here comes wants to be down so bad Crystal inputting herself in the conversation. So Robin shut it down saying she wasn't talking to her. Like, Crystal, I'm not talking to you. Can you please be quiet? As she should have. Because Crystal didn't need to insert herself at all. Kiana was handling herself well. And so was Robin. Even though she wasn't even taking up for Robin. She was taking up for Kiana. But that's another. We're going to get to that. But anyways, after watching the entire conversation go down, I can tell Robin did forget about it. Or at least moved on from it. Which was fine if she didn't plan on speaking with Kiana or doing business with Kiana ever again. But clearly, we are here now. So that wasn't the case. So Kiana told her they never spoke on it to clear the air and for Kiana to get an understanding on why she did that while Robin just expected them to move on. And to me, it started to look like Robin was dismissing Kiana's feelings about the situation, which I didn't like because Kiana keeps saying she thought they were friends at that time. But eventually, Robin did say she was sorry and she wanted to get past it. But the way she said it came off as, okay, sorry, let's move on. And Kiana was like, well, not with that response and not with that attitude. And in all honesty, it didn't come off as if she was doing it on purpose, but as if that's her personality. But the thing is, Robin has to realize everyone don't take her type of personality, which comes off as a like whatever type of personality. Everybody can't deal with that. So what she really needs to do is see what she did wrong to a person and apologize and state her reasoning and thinking behind it so they can move forward, especially if she plans on working with them in the future, like she is with Kiana. But don't get me wrong, Kiana was coming off a little harsh too. So both of their energies were off, and in order for them to work together or at least clear the air and move forward, they needed some cleaner energy and good vibes around, which went out the door after Robin sat down. And Crystal Loud myself kept butting in, just doing too much, just in a way like a bug move, girl. But eventually, Robin broke it down to Kiana and told her that she was in a mental place that didn't involve her caring about other people's feelings. Which is fine and all, Robin. But if you knew that and you've done the work like you said, I think it would have behooved you to at least reach out to the people whose feelings you were hurting or dismissing when you were down so they can understand where your headspace was at and you all can fix things to move forward. Not randomly call them up one day trying to pitch on collabing together. So after Kiana and Robin said their piece with each other, Tiffany told them that they should, table it at the moment and speak with each other privately so they can really break everything down. Now, this is because Tiffany was feeling bad for Robin and also sympathizing with her, unlike the other ladies, because Tiffany has experience being down and being in a, terrible mental space. Because she talked about that a little in the beginning of the episode when we seen her with her kids trying to work. And she was breaking down how she had to do a lot of work on herself to get back to her old self and how she used to be. But I think Kiana has already made up her mind with Robin, whether Robin is making up the BS or not. I don't think Kiana cares at this point, but she is willing to entertain it. So I hope Robin is being truthful about her being in a mental state. And when they sit down, I hope Kiana can really listen to her and see where she is coming from. So after those two did their spill, Kiara came in to ask Robin and Crystal why they unfollowed her on social media when she was engaging with them online. The only thing was they had never met in person. So that seemed strange to her, only for them to be inviting her out now, asking once again to collab. And I can't lie, as petty as that sound, I'm with Kiara because I am going to start thinking y'all started hating on me or something. Because that is just so strange and random at that. So Robin was telling her there wasn't any particular reason why she unfollowed, but she did so because of her algorithm. So now I'm looking at Robin like, girl, why even, like, for real? Really, Robin? Your algorithm? But honestly, Kiara had unnecessary animosity towards Robin. It was like, wait, what? Very weird. Because she went straight off on Robin and instantly went into attack mode. And as much as I felt like she had every right to confront them about it, she didn't have to go so hard. I mean, it's only social media. And if you really felt some way, just let them know you don't feel comfortable working with them because y'all may not collide well together. And that's it. And that's fine. But she clearly had other motives, and honestly, I ain't like it. But more importantly, I didn't like how Kiara was so heated with Robin when this whole time I thought her beef was with Crystal. Because if I recall, in the first episode, she said that she didn't like how Crystal was acting, like she didn't know Kiara at the Kanye concert when they had dinner before. So when she got hyped up on Robin, it seemed like she was just following the flow of Kiana at that time. Girl. Now, I mean, she could have been upset because Robin was saying she wasn't going to argue with her because she got kids her age. But Kiara is younger. And that's only because Kiara brought up the age thing, not Robin. Kiara did. So it was just a whole mess. And of course, Crystal was trying to play it soft and low-key when she was butting in earlier. Now, she wants to be calm and explain herself and turn the negative energy on Robin. I just feel like Kiara energy like that should have been towards Crystal, but that's just my opinion. But it was just so crazy how everything was playing out. it just came off so sad for Kiara, at least for me, because I was giving her the benefit of the doubt, because in the beginning of the episode, she was getting her time to open up and talk about her life and talk about how her house literally went up in flames. Not even her house, her whole entire life went up in flames after her home burnt down and she lost everything. And the guy she with had broke up with her, so that was just messed up. So she was in a recovery stage, and I was feeling very sympathetic, and I still do, because wow, that's a lot to deal with. But instantly she turned me off when she started arguing with Robin, mainly because it was over social media. It's just never that deep, and it shouldn't have gotten as bad as it did. But Kiara wasn't even the worst part of the show. It may have been the cringiest, but it wasn't the worst. The sit down with the ladies got worse when Crystal kept taking up for everyone else and making out Robin to be the offender, when really all Robin was doing was defending herself. So of course Robin, being Robin, called Crystal out saying she didn't know what team she wanted to be on, so she needed to be quiet. And Robin was absolutely right in saying that, because through this whole sit down, Crystal kept flip-flopping to everyone's side except Robin's side. Yet they are supposed to be best friends. Questionable. Now, I'm not saying she had to defend Robin, but I mean, if y'all are best friends, that is what you are supposed to do. But if she, meaning Crystal, was cool with everyone, then she should have just sat there and drunk her drink while they all spoke. But she kept jumping in to all the conversations, trying to control how Robin responds and just be heard. Like, girl, please, again, shut up. Crystal rebuttals in Robin's conversation pissed her off so bad to the point Robin got fed up and told Crystal to just stop. And that's when Crystal told her she's triggered. And that, people, is where the blow up began. This was not the first time Crystal brought up Robin being triggered. And Robin told her to stop using that word, which I can understand. And Crystal should have respected what her friend asked of her, instead of instigating things like she has been doing so far, pushing Robin buttons, saying that the lady is triggered when she really wasn't, honestly. Robin was just defending herself since half the ladies had issues with her. So Robin got beyond tight and stood up and started hitting Crystal purse in hand and told Crystal she would show her how she acts when she is triggered. And I was like, hold up, Rob, hold up. The mom and her came out real quick, and in all honesty, I wish Robin had more composure in that situation and knew how to really humble Crystal instead of letting Crystal get her all fired up, because it was obvious that Crystal was pushing her buttons on purpose and Robin fell for it. Now, I can't excuse Robin for putting her hands on Crystal, but I also will not excuse Crystal for purposely antagonizing someone she calls a friend, who also, by the way, has brought up mental problems multiple times. So, yeah. We ain't even gonna do that. See, my thing is, Crystal is a real slick instigator, and she think no one would catch on, and Robin be on her ass, and it's clear as day how disruptive these two are as friends, and eventually it's going to spill over into business, because Crystal is Robin's closing attorney. So I wonder if she would go over to Tiffany after this blow up. Now that would be the tea, because Crystal was saying that her and Tiffany are low-key competitors. I just don't like her. And I had so much hope for her, but do you know how sad it looks when someone hits you and still no one has sympathy for you? Robin was wrong, and Robin may be a little crazy, but Crystal is the problem, period. I don't care what nobody says. Crystal is the problem. So much has happened in this episode, like us seeing Tiffany and her kids, and her teaching her son how to drive, which I know drove her crazy. No pun intended. But we also got to see how close Tiana and Tiffany really is, because they went out with their husbands on a double date for, I think, Tiffany's 13th 13-year anniversary or something like that. And it was cute, but I have to say I am starting to forget about Tiana. She really is falling into the background. Hopefully she started to get some shine in the show, because I can low-key see she has some shadiness in her, and she talks a lot, because when her and Tiffany was out on their date, Tiffany could barely get a word out because Tiana kept talking. And it wasn't in a rude way, but in a way that was like, I have to say this because it's on my mind type of way. Like, I need to hurry up and get it out, so let me keep speaking. But it's like, okay, Tiana, let somebody else speak. Speaking of something being on my mind, I knew Crystal was a petty person, but Tiffany co-signed it when she said that Crystal reached out to her when she was pregnant about giving up her clients. And the way Tiffany put it was like Crystal was trying to be deceiving about it, but come off as she cares. Crystal is a joke overall. And if you need some work, how about you go and get your own damn clients and stop trying to come off on somebody else who is pregnant at that? Girl. It's like she was so bold for that. And you can tell Tiffany probably turned her down nicely, but it seems like Crystal be asking for her ass to get whooped. Yeah. If you ask me. Also, during the episode, we got into Kiana's life a little more, where she talks about how real estate has changed her life, and she goes hard because she has family depending on her, and she refuses to let them down. And we also get introduced to her husband, and they, both talk about the situation with Robin, because the husband actually knows Robin. So they spoke on that, and what I can say about her husband and Tiana and Tiffany's husband is that none of them have spoken down on the other ladies. Either they want to avoid the conversation, or they just speak real talk about the situations, but never down talk anyone. Now, of course, that's probably for the cameras. And behind the scenes or behind closed doors, I'm pretty sure they be going in, which is fine. But for now, I think how they are being portrayed is good and settling enough for me. Like, they're not doing too much. They're not trying to steal camera time. Now, remember I told you all earlier in the video that Kiara talked about her home being burned down, and she has been trying to recover and get things back in order as far as that go. So we've seen some of that. And we also seen Kiara in action showing one of her clients a condo, which happened to be B. Simone. And the condo she was showing was too small, in my opinion, especially for the price. B. Simone could have gotten a huge house in Georgia for that price. She would have paid for that condo. But I think she did state that she didn't want a home because it's too much work to put into it, and she's all alone. So it makes sense why she wants a condo. But that wasn't a lot of bang for the buck she would have been paying. But it was good to see Kiara doing her selling, especially because we got introduced to her being bragged on by Kiana for being a top selling girl in real estate. Now, I must say, I'm starting to forget this show is about real estate because we are not getting to see much of it, and I need them to pick up on that because at the end of the day, that is why we're here. And like I said in my Selling Tampa review, y'all make sure y'all go watch that, I am not pressed with seeing them sell the homes because damn if they do, damn if they don't. But show me what's out there so I can get motivated, hell, and be amazed. That's all. Show us some damn luxury, okay? But other than that, the show is getting better each week and more exciting. So once they pick up on their home showing, this will be a top lister when it comes to reality TV to watch, that's for sure. And because this is in Atlanta, it gives the creators a chance to disperse into other cities, which will be exciting to see as well. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review and you already know what to do. Like this video below. Comment your thoughts on this show so far. And last but certainly not least, subscribe and join the Queendom, baby. Bye.